move on to the introduction to the Tri-Agency USRAs. My name is Leah Hausman, and I take care of the Tri-Agency USRAs at USask, and I'm really happy to be here with our uRSAW coordinator, Jordan Epp, to tell you all about the 2026 competition. We will have time for questions at the end, so you'll be able to either pop them in the chat or raise your hand and unmute when we call for questions. So first things first, even though we are online, I want to acknowledge that we are coming to you from Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis, and I invite you all to take a moment to consider the land where you are coming from today. Canada's tri-agencies are the three federal funding organizations that support research, research training, and innovation at post-secondary institutions across the country. And their main role is to promote and support high-quality research across many subjects that benefit Canadians. The three agencies are the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council, or what we call NSERC, and they support university research and innovation in the natural sciences and engineering. The Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council, which we call SSHRC, and they support research and training in the social sciences and humanities, and work to build knowledge about people, cultures, and societies. And the Canadian Institutes of Health Research, or CIHR, which fund health research to improve the health of Canadians and the healthcare system, covering areas like disease diagnosis, treatment, and public health factors. These agencies work together on initiatives and policies, such as administering joint programs like the Canada Graduate Research Scholarships and the Undergraduate Student Research Awards. At a high level, the USRAs provide paid full-time work over the summer as a student assistant on a research project under the supervision of a USask faculty member. First of all, I do want to note that these are very competitive awards, and we do not know what our exact quota will be for 2026 yet, but we do generally receive at least more than double the applications than we can award, meaning that many excellent and well-qualified students end up not getting awarded. However, as we will show you, it is still 1,000% worth it to apply and aim to take up a USRA. They are 14 to 16 weeks of paid employment between May and August 2026. Students are paid between $15.35 and $21.12 per hour, depending on your faculty supervisor. And these are the 2025 ranges, so they might change slightly in January. And $6,000 is provided by the award, with the rest coming from your faculty supervisor. The competition will launch officially on December 2nd, 2025. At that point, we will begin accepting applications, and our website will contain all of the information, the application forms, the portal, all of that will be there. We're also hosting several workshops between today and January 14th to help you along. We have a step-by-step application workshop on December 3rd via Zoom, where you can come and walk through the application steps with us. We have sessions and recordings from previous sessions to help you talk to a professor about a research position, write about your skills and experiences, and we are hosting a speed networking event on November 12th, where you can come and meet faculty who are looking for undergraduate research assistants. We will also hold 2 drop-in work sessions closer to the deadline, one in December and one in January, where you can come work on your application, get support from us, and eat some snacks. Applications will be due on January 23rd, 2026 at 5:00 p.m. Saskatchewan time. Of the 3 tri-agencies, most of the USRA awards come from NSERC, and there are 3 different streams for the NSERC awards: the general stream, the stream for Indigenous student researchers, and the stream for Black student researchers. For the Indigenous student researcher stream, This one is only open to applicants who can obtain verification of Indigenous identity or citizenship in line with the USask Indigenous Truth Policy. And for the Black student researcher stream, the student must self-identify as Black and consent to having this information about their identity shared, potentially publicly if you are awarded. And at this time, the SSHRC and CIHR USRAs are only for Black student researchers, and the same guidelines as the NSERC streams apply. There is also a lot of eligibility criteria, and you should definitely go through our website in detail to get them all in full. But on a high level, you must be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or have protected status. International students on a study permit are not eligible for this award at this time. You must be registered in a bachelor's degree program at the application deadline, so as of January 23rd. It is okay if you'll be graduating in the spring. You are still eligible. You can hold a previous bachelor's degree. That is, you can be currently working on a second bachelor's degree, but you cannot have entered graduate school in the same field of study at any point, even if you did not graduate from that graduate school. You cannot be enrolled in an undergraduate professional degree program in the human health sciences to hold a USRA, particularly the NSERC and SSHRC ones, but you can if you are applying for a CIHR USRA. If you have questions about that, let us know and we can clarify that for you. You must have a cumulative average of 70%. That being said, we do offer an option on the student application for students to fill out if they have experienced any extenuating circumstances, and the adjudication committee will take that into account. You must have completed 2 semesters of university before the award starts. So first years, you are eligible as long as you will have completed 2 semesters before May 2026. If you are awarded, you can only take a maximum of 2 courses over the summer at the same time as your USRA. If you don't have to take courses if you don't want to, but if you're planning to, just keep that in mind. You can only hold 1 USRA per fiscal year. That is April 1st to March 31st. We only offer USRAs in the summer at USask, so if you've only ever held one at USask, that won't be a problem. But if you have completed one at another university in the fall or winter, you won't be eligible to apply for a summer USRA this year. You also cannot hold more than 3 USRAs over your undergraduate career, even if you are doing multiple undergraduate degrees. You also must be able to commit full-time to full-time work for 14 to 16 weeks between May and August. If you have other jobs on campus, you won't be able to hold those at the same time. The working hours are agreed to between you and your faculty supervisor, but they are generally during the day. And if you meet all of that criteria to apply, the next important thing to know is that this is a 2-part application completed with your faculty supervisor. So you must have a faculty supervisor who has agreed to work with you to apply. Your total combined application is evaluated based on 3 overarching areas. 60% of the total score comes from the student portions of the application, academic performance and research potential, and 40% comes from the faculty portion. Academic performance counts for 30% of your score. This includes things like your grades and grades by year, your transcript from all post-secondary institutions you have attended, and the awards that you list on your application. You'll have space to list those. Research potential counts for the other 30% of the student portion of the score. And this includes your answers to the questions on your application. So these questions ask you to answer 2,500 characters, not words, characters or less, so they're pretty short. You are asked to describe your experience and skills. You are asked to explain how the USRA will help you to develop and practice research skills and competencies. And you are asked to outline how this opportunity will contribute to your future education and career goals. And that makes up the student portion of the application. The last 40% comes from the faculty portion of the application, which is a significant amount of your total score. So it is important that you choose a supervisor who is willing to work with you to complete this application. The faculty supervisor is the one that provides the outline of the topic, the outline of your role, and the outline of the training and mentorship that they can provide. There are also a few extra things to check for here. Your application is not going to be read by someone in your exact department. It will be read by someone who has experience in the natural sciences and engineering, or social sciences or health sciences, if that applies. But your faculty supervisor will need to write this in a way so it can be understood by those outside of your very specific area in your department. The adjudication committee will also want to make sure that students are working with quality supervision and mentorship, so it's important that your faculty supervisor outlines this well. We'll be going over all of that in detail during the faculty information session on November 20th, so encourage your supervisors to come if they have any questions about this. So in total, 60% of the score comes from your contribution, and 40% of the score comes from your faculty supervisor's contribution. Next, I am pleased to introduce two past USRA recipients who are here to talk about their experience applying for and completing a USRA from a student's perspective. We have Catherine Chang, a fourth-year cellular, physiological, and pharmacological sciences student. She applied for and received a NSERC USRA 2025, and with support from that USRA, she conducted a summer research project in Dr. Dustin Botterell's lab in summer 2025, and she presented her work in the 2025 SSHRC Summer Symposium, where she received the first place award. She's continuing her research as an honor student in Dr. Botterell's lab in the 2025 year. We also have Nahima Bey-Tianke, a third-year interdisciplinary biomedical sciences student who is also pursuing a certificate in leadership and negotiation. She is a past USRA recipient in 2024 and 2025. And a few fun facts about Nahima B are that she speaks French fluently, she likes to quilt, and she wanted to be a fashion designer when she was young. Catherine, you can take 5 minutes. Go ahead and share your screen, and then Nahima, you can go next.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Leah, for that introduction, and thank you so much, Jordan and Leah, for inviting me to speak today. Today, I'll be talking a bit about my experience in applying to NSERC, as well as the experiences and the skills I gained thanks to the NSERC, as well as how an NSERC USRA benefited me beyond just a summer job. You guys got to hear about who I am now, but a year ago at the start of my third year, I actually had no prior research experience out of my required BMSE classes. And I think it's a really common experience as undergrad students to feel like the least qualified person in the room, and you don't know whether you should apply for a USRA because you don't know if you'll like it, you don't know if you'll be good enough. And I think in hindsight, the important factor that helped me succeed with NSERC was that I had a strong desire to try research and just learn from it, even if that meant I was a bit nervous. So if that sounds like you, I think it was definitely worth applying to NSERC or any other USRAs. In applying to NSERC, I cold emailed professors in my areas of interest, so I took a look at the faculty list in my department, and if a professor's research really spoke to me, I would emailing them introducing myself and asking to meet up. And at these meetings, it was important for me to discuss my goals and expectations. So I told them I'm really interested in a summer research job, and I would really enjoy applying to NSERC. So when I was paired up with my professor, I wrote my application really focusing on me being really excited for research and tying that back to relevant experiences. So if there's any BMSE people in the call, that was my first and second year BMSE classes. And a really important factor, as Leah mentioned earlier, was communicating with my professor throughout the application. So agreeing on early drafts and communicating about deadlines and any final edits that you want to make. And thanks to the NSERC last summer, I had really, really fun and valuable time. I got to practice skills that aren't covered in my BMSE classes. So obviously there's lab skills like live rodent handling or brain processing in my case. But something that I didn't really know that I would get myself into was getting to practice my soft skills. So you might relate to your required class and your labs, having labs for about 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, but NSERC in comparison is 3 to 4 months long. So it was really a valuable time for me to learn how to be a mentee and communicate for that long and work on one project. Something that's also really personal to me is that I got to meet lots of new friends and mentor figures. Everyone in my lab in that picture I'm really good friends with. And outside of just my lab as well, there's labs that share the same space as I do, and also labs that we collaborate with. So if you're wanting to meet new friends, it's an awesome way to meet new people, as well as, of course, you get ongoing support from from your supervisor. So in my supervisor's case, he set me up with a master's student from day one and really made sure that I felt supported throughout my summer project. As well, finally, there's achievement opportunities. As you guys heard, I was super excited to participate in the SHRC Symposium, where I was really honored to be awarded the first place award. But also, there's going to be lots of college-specific and discipline-specific showcases and symposiums, so keep an eye out for those as well. Also, NSERC goes just beyond a summer job. In my case, I'm an honor student now, and I really can't understate how much NSERC was important in setting me up for success. And I hope to give you guys a bit of insight. So for NSERC, as Leah mentioned, you work about 7 to 8 hours a week, which adds up to about 38 hours per week. And during that time, you'll have less academic stress in the summer compared to your fall and winter terms. So you really get to focus on learning and refining those lab skills. And by the time September rolled around, when I started my honors project, I already had 3 to 4 months of research experience. Versus if I were to do an honors only. And just as a disclaimer, there's lots of people that do this, and there's lots of people that find great success. But just in comparison, honors for my department is 10 hours a week, so about 2 hours a day or 25% of the time. And you're also balancing like 3 to 4 other classes. So you have to keep that in mind. And for my story, I would have started with 0 weeks of experience by the time I started in September. So I hope that gives you guys an insight as to how NSERC can benefit you in your last year or even like further than that. So grad school, medical school, or any other professional colleges that you guys want to go into. I hope that got you guys excited for NSERC. It was really important and a special time for me. And of course, good luck to all of you applying this year. And of course, thank you so much, and Leah and Jordan, for inviting me again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Catherine. That's really great tips and tricks. Nahima, you can go ahead if you have slides. Go ahead, but if not, take it away.
Sure, thanks for inviting me again to the presentation. So I didn't have slides. I want to take more just talking, communicating basis, but I'm just gonna kind of guide you guys through what my experience with NSERC was and kind of what it brought to me, the skills that I've developed, and how I'm using that further. So as you guys have seen, I was awarded NSERC in 2024 and 2025, and I would say what brought me to it was that I was kind of always into research, not necessarily research at the beginning or from like high school, but I always knew I was a meticulous person. Like whatever hobbies I have, I like to be really precise, meticulous. I like that methodology. So I thought research was kind of my thing, and that's kind of what I hope to do in the future. So when I got to university, I knew that that was an avenue I wanted to explore. So I kind of just reached out to a bunch of people and talked about like what my plans were. And my mentors and pause kind of it popped up, that opportunity answer popped up, and I kind of joined these workshops that uRSAW hosts. So thanks to that, I was introduced to the application process of NSERC, and I kind of went through it. Then similarly to Catherine, I emailed a bunch of profs and kind of browsed through the list and which ones were either where I saw had a big learning opportunity for me or had similar interests to me, because the first time I did apply, I was in first year. So yeah, I didn't really have anything. And especially because you start writing your application like in the first term, I didn't even complete like the first biology lab. So it was really hard to tell myself that, oh, I'm competent enough to apply to this, but that's really something you need to take. You just need to tell yourself like you are competent. Knowing that you're very passionate about research, or at least taking that opportunity is as valuable to profs and such as experience. So that's kind of what I did. And those are kind of skills I learned, like how to email profs or cater your emails or your responses to the NSERC application process regarding what the prof says. So those were kind of my experiences, and the in-lab experiences that I gained, I was able to apply them to my second year BMSc courses later on, and actually to my second project. So the second USRA that I received was in another discipline, still in the sciences, but different, but all now I was able to accumulate all the activities, all the experience I've had from the previous lab I had worked on in the summer, and also my summer class, which made my experience much more enjoyable. I was able to cultivate new skills just because it's a new environment, a new lab, to talk to the different people and be able to like synthesize materials. So I was also like able to work on those skills. I also had a chance to present my informations and my findings at the symposium over the summer, which was really nice. And yeah, I just want to highlight again, Catherine already said that, but it is very valuable to do uRSAW because if you are thinking about doing honors, you can kind of have a head start on that, especially if you're planning to work with the same prof. But regardless, it just is good to have like lab experience. And because you're only working within the lab, you have more opportunity to grow. So you can ask more questions because all all the master students or PhD or whoever is assigned to you are kind of working close collaboration with. So you have definitely more time to explore and understand your topic. Whereas in class, it's not always the case. You kind of have 3 or 4 hours to complete whatever lab you're supposed to do. So that was really my journey with the USRA and wish all of you good luck for the application process. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. Thank you both for those excellent insights and pieces of advice. You're sticking around to the end. We'll open the floor, and if anyone has questions for Nehema and Catherine, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer them as well. Awesome. So we will continue on. So now you know if you're eligible to apply, and you've heard from some past students about why you should apply. So what do you do next? Happy to introduce our uRSAW coordinator, Jordan Epp, who has some tips and tricks for you to help you find a faculty supervisor.
Awesome. Thanks, Leah. And thank you, Nehema and Catherine for your insights there. I think it's really valuable for folks to hear from students who've gone ahead and done this before, because they really do bring a lot of insight into sort of what works. Both Catherine and Nehema mentioned finding that supervisor, and really that's kind of the step we're looking at right now. So the timing of the USRAs is such that right now I get a lot of questions. How should I be doing this? What should I be doing right now? And right now you should be finding a professor to work with. Find that supervisor. So we had a workshop just a few weeks ago called How to Talk to Your Professor About a Research Position. That's, if you follow the QR code on the screen there, that should take you to our upcoming workshops and things, or that one might actually take you straight to the video. But we recorded that session. That's going to give you some tips and tricks about how to talk to professors. But these are kind of the main points that are covered in that workshop. And to start off, it's do your homework. Find someone you want to work with. And again, both our students who just spoke talked about doing this, and going to the website of your department, of your college, finding those professors, digging into their research, finding out who's researching what in your department. Maybe you've had a professor in one of your courses that just really blew your mind. Maybe they talked about some of their research. But doing a bit of homework before you connect with them, before you talk to them, is going to go a long way to showing your initiative, showing that you're serious, showing that you are connected to their research and passionate about what they are passionate about, making some kind of connection there. So do your homework. Find some professors that you might be interested in working with. I'd recommend finding a number of them. Again, our students tell us time and time again that they're emailing several professors, not just one. Sometimes outside of their own department, where research might overlap, or there might be some interdisciplinary connections. Don't be afraid to spread yourself out beyond your specific discipline. A lot of the time, undergraduate research experience opportunities are broad enough that that it is an interdisciplinary skill set they're looking for. It's not necessarily, they don't expect you to be a master of these things that they're researching already. They understand that you're undergraduates. They understand that you have a limited experience, certainly in the lab or in the field. So a lot of the time what they're looking for is a really passionate person, someone who's eager, someone who shows some initiative, and that's really what they're looking for when they're looking for their undergraduate research assistant. So do some homework, get out there, and then make those introductions and those connections. We often recommend emails, a great way to sort of get started there. And with that email, you want to be showing that you, again, know what it is they research, right? Put something in there. You know, I read this paper of yours and it really inspired me to think more about this. Or I know you're researching in this area. I'm passionate about it because of this. And just let them know who you are and where your strengths are. Let them know what your goals are. I'm looking for a summer position. I'm looking to just talk more about this, depending on where you are in your timelines and where you're sort of thinking. Let them know what your timelines are. I'm looking to apply for an NSERC USRA. That's what I want this year. So are you the person to do that with me? So be specific about those things. Be sincere. Be honest. Be specific, like I say, and be persistent. If you don't hear back from them right away, give it a couple of days. A quick email nudge just to say, hey, I sent you this email about applying for a USRA. Still interested in doing that? Would love to hear back from you. That's fine. Don't feel bad about sending those nudges. A lot of faculty members are really busy. They've got lots of stuff on the go all the time. So be persistent. But persistence as well in terms of, if you get a no or you don't get a reply, find another faculty member and reach out again. There's lots of folks looking to connect and looking to do that. So it sort of brings us to our next slide in terms of next steps. So if you're at a point where you're looking to meet some faculty members, November 19th, we have a speed networking event for faculty and undergraduate researchers. So this is a really big opportunity for you to meet with faculty members across the university. They're going to be giving a quick little 2-minute brief introduction to what their research is and what they're looking for in terms of undergraduate researchers to work with them. You'll sort of go from table to table. It's a bit of a sort of a speed dating kind of a setup. We'll get you set up at a table with a few other students. You'll hear a bit from the faculty member. You'll have a chance to ask them some questions, see what it is they're looking for, get their contact information, and then we'll move you on to the next table and you'll hear from that researcher. This is an interdisciplinary event. So again, really good opportunity for you to hear about research that's happening in all sorts of different disciplines across the university, from one department to another. And who knows, you may find that there's some research that you sort of see yourself fitting into that you maybe didn't think about before. And it may open up an opportunity that you didn't even realize you were looking for. There's been lots of interdisciplinary opportunities that our undergraduate researchers have kind of found themselves in. It's a great thing to get on the resume, get on your CV, get some experience in a lab or out in the field. And then as you go into your honors or start looking for your second USRA in your next year, you've already got those experiences on your CV, which is great. So that's an event coming up, like I say, on the 19th from 4 o'clock till 5:30 in the afternoon, Louis Loft. We'll do the speed networking for about an hour, and then we'll have about a half an hour of just some refreshments and something to eat, and give you an opportunity just to continue networking with both the faculty and other undergraduate researchers. It's these networking opportunities that most undergraduate researchers say are the things that get them those positions, where they're finding those positions. Other undergraduate researchers say, actually, we're hiring in my lab. You should contact my supervisor. Or, oh, actually, I heard about another thing that was happening that might interest you, I'll give you their contact information. So these kind of networking events are super helpful for finding those opportunities. We've also got a couple of job postings that we've been sent by faculty members. So we'll share the information at this event of those as well, and you can have a look at those and get some contact information. So anyway, that's a really good one. I highly recommend that one. We also have a faculty introduction to the tri-agency USRAs. So this kind of a presentation or workshop focused a little bit more on that 40% that Leah mentioned of the application for the USRAs and what the faculty's role is there. But a really good opportunity for us or for you as undergraduate students to come and have listen to that as well, so that you understand what your faculty supervisor has to do for their part and how you can collaborate on that piece. So not a bad idea to come to that one as well. That's just another Zoom one. And then on the 27th, we have another networking event. This one is with Opus at their Collider Hub. And this is going to be a presentation by a number of folks that they work with. One of them was an undergraduate student who took their research and made an entrepreneurship opportunity out of it, and how they worked with Opus to do that. Again, just a really good opportunity to network with some other researchers and other undergraduates and graduates who will be there talking about their research and their entrepreneurship and graduate pathways, and just sort of how they got from place to place and step to step. So again, really good opportunity for networking on that one. And then we've got a couple more USRA ones. Again, Leah mentioned the application process workshop we've got on December 3rd. So once you've found your faculty supervisor, this one is going to go a little bit more in depth in terms of what the actual application process is, a little bit more detail about what needs to be in there, and how to go about doing that. So we'll be looking at the application more directly in that one, and helping you and your supervisor actually get those filled out, and supporting you with those. And then 2 more drop-in sessions after that, in case you have questions along the way as you're doing it. So yeah, hopefully those are enough support moving forward to sort of get you started and get you moving on the USRAs from the tri-agencies this year. We'll have more information. I think the actual launch date for those is the December 2nd. Yeah, there it is. So launch date for the USRAs is December 2nd. We'll be updating the tri-agency USRA webpage as we get more information from the tri-agencies about what University of Saskatchewan's allocations are, how many of these we're going to be getting, all those kind of things. So keep an eye on that website for up-to-date information. And you can always send Leah or I a email about any of this at undergraduate.research@USask. Yes, I've got a question here in the chat. I'm wondering if on November 19th, if it was okay to come half an hour late. Yeah, no problem. Pop in whenever you can. Absolutely. We'll get you each table will sort of be 5 to 6 minutes, and then we'll move to the next table. So we'll get you in on the next round. And like I say, there's lots of time at the end to just sort of stand around and chat with faculty and ask questions and that kind of thing at that networking event as well. So yeah, absolutely. By all means, just pop in when you have time.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think with that, we can open her up for questions for either Leah or Neheme or Catherine or myself. Yeah, let us know if you have any questions.
You can pop them in the chat, or you can unmute and speak them out loud, whichever works for you. This always takes a minute if people are typing out questions, so we'll give it a bit.
All right, we've got one here. I know there's a USRA equivalent for graduate students called GSRA. Do you know if there's a webinar for this upcoming? I'm not sure. You can check on the CGPS website, should have an events calendar on there. So CGPS is the College of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies. So they should have an event calendar on their site. I
believe they usually do some sort of presentation on the RSAs, but they take care of those ones. So you want to check with them, as Jordan mentioned.
Any other questions? Got a bit of time left, so if there's any questions just about how to go about it, or what kind of questions to be asking your professors, or any of those types of questions, feel free to ask. I think one of the things that we talked about at our panel discussion, Naheme was one of our panel presenters, and we had a number of other students. And one of the things I think everybody talked about a little bit was this, sense that, a little bit of fear factor when it comes into applying for the USRAs, and having a bit of a sense that maybe it's not for you. This imposter syndrome that we all feel at times, and I think from any undergraduate researcher that I have talked to who has successfully or even unsuccessfully applied for a USRA, is just to go for it and just jump in and try it out. The experience of even just applying for it is a great experience of writing up an application, just having that. I've done lots of grant writing in my day, and my percentage is not great, but I think that every time you write a proposal like this, every time you put in an application like this, you gain some skills. They get better. You get better about writing about your skills, and those are all skills that certainly help out moving forward. So, yeah, definitely.
A couple questions in the chat now. So PLS asked if they can apply for USRA as a fourth-year student graduating in May 2026. And yes, you can apply. You just have to still be registered as an undergraduate student as of January 23rd. But if you're going to be graduating in April, you can still do the USRA over the summer. That is still allowed.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
The other question is around the event on the 19th. Yes, be a great idea to bring a resume. If you find a faculty member that you definitely connect with and just want to hand those out right then. We just last week had another workshop around CVs and applications. One of the QR codes in this presentation that we'll send out to everybody afterwards will take you to our SSHRC workshop page, and the recording for that and the other workshops are listed on that page, so you can get to that one. So if you're wanting to spruce up your CV or just get some tips on writing about your skills and things like that, there's that workshop as well. But yeah, absolutely good idea to bring a resume or a CV to the event in case you connect with a faculty member and want to just hand that over right then and there. They'd love to have it. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, then we can, like I say, our email's there. If you want to email us, let us know, and we're happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, like I say, keep your eye on that Tri-Agency USRA webpage. Leah will be updating that with updated information as that comes in, and also, like I say, the USRA or the uRSAW and SSHRC web pages have the upcoming events on them, so keep an eye on those as well. And yeah, good luck finding that supervisor. I think that's, like I say, the first step at this stage is to do that. And yeah, anything else, Leah, before we sign off?
I think that is it. Thank you all for coming and asking your questions. George mentioned there will be more details on the website coming soon, no later than December 2nd. In the meantime, you check out our website, our YouTube channel for resources. We have lots of recordings of sessions to help you out and to prepare to make this application. And we will be recording the resource session for anyone who is unable to attend live. And if you do have any questions, please just shoot us an email. We'd be happy to help you out. So that'd be everything, and have a great day.
Awesome. Thanks. I'll stop the recording and we'll all just hang out for just a couple of minutes in case anybody wants to hang around and chat afterwards. But thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.